Welcome to another episode of Mastermind Bites. Hi, my name is Fong. I'm an entrepreneur, business strategist, real estate investor, speaker, and also a best-selling author. And every single day, I have the opportunity to help others unlock the potentials and guide them to succeed. Over the last few years, I've had the privilege to meet some of the most amazing people on earth and some masters of their skill sets, and got to be in their presence, learn from them, hear their stories, hear how they overcame challenges and tribulations and adversity. And I just wanted to take this time to share some of those stories with you and share with you what I've learned from these great, amazing people. And today I'm very happy to be featuring Mr. Weird Al Yankovic. He's somebody I have a lot of respect for. He's a very, very creative person, lots of fun. I have a lot of respect, and I really love, a big fan of his work, and I've been listening to his stuff for many, many years now. And the thing is, lots of people don't realize that he's actually achieved so much stuff, and people just look at him, if they don't really know who he is, they go, wow, this guy looks kind of weird. He probably isn't that successful or anything like that. But if you really look into it, if you're a fan of his work, you know he has achieved a lot of different things, and he is actually known as the King of Parody. He has been able to carve a niche and create that brand for himself that made him so famous and so well known throughout the entire world of what he does, and that's why he's so successful. He has 5 Grammy Awards. He is the #1 best-selling comedy artist in the entire world. He's sold over 12 million copies of his albums. He's been in the industry for over 4 decades. Not many people could say that in any industry, but he has been in this industry and been the top of this industry for 4 decades and more. He's also a best-selling author. He's not just a best-selling author. He's a New York Times best-selling author for a children's book. So he's done a lot of different things. He does voiceover work. He does movies. He does cameos. He does so many different things. Yet he still is true to his own art, and he still does lots of parodies. He does write a lot of different songs, and he's so good at what he does, and that's why he's so successful. He's a very hardworking guy. I had the privilege of seeing him live a few times, and just seeing him on stage, the amount of energy he puts into it, the amount of work he puts into it, the way he engages his audience, wow, it's absolutely amazing. If you ever have a chance to watch him live, I highly recommend it. You're gonna have a whole lot of fun. Everybody's kind of weird. Everybody's kind of having that great energy about them when they're there, and it's just a lot of fun just to interact with people there as well. Lots of people don't actually realize that because he has been doing this for so long, before he was the King of Parody, before he was in the music industry, he was actually spending a lot of time as working as an architect. He was actually working towards being an architect. He graduated as an architect, and he wanted to become somebody in that area. But he also had that creative genius about him, and he kept on building his repertoire. He kept on building his portfolio of music and songs. So he was doing both at the same time, but he just found that passion, that love. And as the quote says, the sign to success is doing something that makes you absolutely happy. And in the end, he found that doing music, making people smile, making people laugh, making people having a good time through his music and through his performances, through his creativity, is what he wanted to do. And therefore, he went away from the architecture and focused on his music career. And that's what he's been doing for all these years. And he's been doing very, very well in it. Now, I did say he was an architect, which also means he has a very, very sharp left brain to him. He's very, very smart. He's very, very analytical. And in fact, he was the valedictorian in his class. So that shows he's not just creative and have that big right brain minded mentality, but he's also very, very analytical, which goes to show when he actually works on his music, when he takes a song and he sits there, he actually writes down a list of hundreds of ideas and goes through each and every single one very systematically, very analytically, to find out, okay, which idea is going to work, which rhyme is going to work, which words are going to work, which parody is going to work. And he goes through that whole process with all his songs and all his creative pieces. And that's why he's been able to be successful in what he does. Overall, these years, at the very beginning, people said that, oh, he's just a one-hit wonder. He's only going to be around for a short period of time. Until now, he's carved such a big niche, such a big brand of what he does as the King of Parody, that lots of music artists actually go up to him, hey, So when are you going to create a Weird Al version of my song? Or when are you going to come up with something that's going to feature me in it, in your polka medley and all that kind of stuff? It got to a point where it's almost as if once you have your song, if you're an artist or a singer or a creative genius, once you have a real Weird Al version of your work, then you are accepted in pop culture. You are accepted in that industry. It's like a rite of passage, as Lin-Manuel Miranda actually said that once he got his Hamilton in a polka version by Weird Al, it's like a rite of passage. Same thing with Lady Gaga. She also said that once she got her song Weird Al version wise, it was like a rite of passage. So people are now beginning to feel that once you get a Weird Al version of their song, you've made it. And the thing is, he's actually outlasted so many artists that he's parodied songs for. And that's because he's found that niche. He's found that brand that works for him. Now, he's so successful in what he does. There's 4 main things I really want to focus on, which I believe is the key to why he's so successful. And number 1 thing is he surrounds himself with people that are very talented, and also he's very loyal to the people he's surrounding himself with. And he's so loyal to the fact that, in fact, his band that's worked with him for over 40 years has not changed. It's the same drummer that he's worked with. It's the same bass guitarist, the same pianist, and all that kind of stuff. His whole band has been working with him for the past 40 years. In fact, he's so loyal to his to his band that when they go traveling, he actually stays in the tour bus where he then puts his band into hotel rooms, because he felt that, oh, they deserve that kind of rest. He'll just stay in his own tour bus. And in fact, it's more efficient and more effective, because now he doesn't have to check in, check out. He lets his band do what they want to do in their own rooms, but he stays in his own tour bus. He has everything there. So I thought that was a pretty amazing story. And the thing is, he cares and is so loyal to his group that he really works hard with them, and he doesn't want to let people go because they're so talented. And in the business realm, you want to surround yourself with people that are like-minded. You want to surround yourself with a great team of people so that you are able to be successful, so that they are able to challenge you and push you forward. And that's what Weird Al has done over the last 40 years, surround himself with great people, talented people, and being loyal to them. And he's been doing that for over 40 years. The other thing is positioning. He's very, very good at positioning. He would target the big songs when he was first starting out. He targets the big songs, the songs that are in the top 40 list, top 10 list, and then he would take those songs and parody those, because he knows that because those songs are so high up there, people are going to notice if there's going to be a parody on them. So he knows exactly how to position himself to stand out from all the rest. He would then take these songs and send it out to radio stations and different places to get them aired. And even though he was working on these songs by himself in his bedroom, he's creating all these little sound effects and all that kind of stuff. He's a one-man person way back in the day, and he just sends them out because he knows as long as he keeps on pushing it, and pushing it and pushing it, eventually those songs would come out on the radio. And sure enough, his songs were actually featured on radio when he was still in school, and in school, so that people actually know who he is before he was actually famous, which is absolutely incredible. He kept on putting his brand out there. He kept on putting his positioning out there so that he's able to connect with more and more people. Now, a couple of years ago, when he featured his new album, he actually thought about another way of how to connect with different people, because now the genre of music is completely different. CDs aren't selling as well. They don't create albums anymore. So he decided to go and create a music video for each one of the songs that he was releasing, and he would release one world debut one after another for 8 days straight, creating that hype, creating that excitement, so that when the last video goes up, that's when his album's out, and that's how he actually promoted it. The thing is, because selling CDs were not a big thing anymore, he connected with lots of different stations and TV and different partnerships. So then, because they needed more and more content, he was able to provide these people with content. But at the same time, because these are all big media gurus, he's able to connect with more and more people. So that's how he got his words out there. That's how he positioned himself to be different than all the rest, which is absolutely phenomenal. And positioning is absolutely important in anybody's business, which is why I think positioning is so important in your own business, so that you could find a way to position yourself strategically, just like he did, to set himself differently from all the rest. Another thing that he did was he connected with different skilled people. For instance, if the budget was really small for a certain album, he would actually connect with cartoonists and animators and different people and have them create music videos without having actors or without having to go rent a soundstage. He'll have people animate a video for him, so that now he still has a music video that's creative, that's different, that sets him apart from other people, yet also able to feature different artists, different skill sets, different people by having them work on his videos, which I thought was absolutely amazing as well. Now, the third thing I want to talk about, what he was doing very well on, is he recognized his niche, and he was able to create a brand out of it. Something that I thought Arnold Schwarzenegger did as well. He took something that would have been a liability, his long name, his big body, and changed it into his brand. Well, Weird Al did the same thing. In fact, he didn't even come up with the name Weird Al. He was walking down the hallway at school, and people would start calling him, "Hey, Weird Al," because he just walked a little funny. He stared at them. He wasn't very sociable at the time, and people just called him names and called him Weird Al. The thing is, he decided, hey, why not just use what everybody else is already calling him? And he actually used the nickname Weird Al for his radio station when he started that off, and changed that into his brand. And 40 years later, he's still known as Weird Al. And because it's his brand, he's found his niche. He found what people wanted. He found what he liked to create and gave it to the people that actually liked the same thing that he liked. And he used the whole Weird Al brand to do it, which is very, very good. Same with the accordion. Not many people play the accordion. And he actually was one of those people that plays the accordion very, very well. The story goes where a music institute came to his parents' house one day and goes, "We believe that your kids should go and learn a musical instrument. Pick one. Do you want him to learn the guitar or the accordion?" And the funny thing is, his parents goes, "The accordion sounds like it's pretty cool. What a cool instrument." So they picked the accordion, thinking that it was going to give him the popularity. In fact, it was nothing like that, because accordion is not exactly the guitar or the well-accepted type of instrument, but he made it his own. He created a brand with the accordion and himself as something that now everybody knows him as a person who plays accordion. He made it very, 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 very famous. He's the person that is performing with it. He's a great accordion player. And in fact, he's now known as a person who can create a whole bunch of different genres of music and change them all into polka style. And if you ever get a chance, in fact, if you could search the Hamilton polka medley, you'll love it. If you love Hamilton, the Broadway musical, you'll love Weird Al's version of it. And in fact, Manuel Miranda actually loved that version of it and was a big fan of Weird Al as well, and was waiting for Weird Al to do something with Hamilton. And once he did it, you could see Lin's reaction to the polka as well. So take a look at that. So he created that brand. He's known as the Polka King. He's known as the King of Parody because he knows what that brand is. The last thing I want to talk about is he has a great deal of respect for the people that's around him and the people that he works with and the people he parodies songs for or songs with. For instance, he had a huge amount of respect for his parents. His parents wanted him to focus on his studies. His parents wanted him to become an architect. Hence, he respected them, finished his whole architect schooling and education, graduated as an architect, and then had a discussion with them before he decided to go full force into music. And in fact, they had a deal with his parents where his parents was going to give him 1 full year of focusing on music and then decide after that. And by that time, he already knew he wanted to do music for the rest of his life. And once he had that go ahead from his parents, he went full force, and the rest is history. He became this big king of parody person and made a huge career out of his music and never looked back. So he was very, very focused on it because he respected his parents. He made sure that this path worked for him. The other thing is with his parody songs, the thing is there isn't any legalities, there isn't any copyright infringement by doing parodies because you're putting it out there that you're doing parodies of different songs. But he still wanted the approval from the original artist. If he doesn't get the approval from the original artist, he wouldn't do the song, he wouldn't air it, he wouldn't release it. So much so, he would actually fly to certain concerts just for a chance to meet that person and ask them, hey, is it okay if I do a parody of your song? So until he gets that okay, he wouldn't release it. Over the years, it's gotten easier and easier because of who he is and what he's done so far. But way back in the day, it was very difficult for him to actually get there. So he positioned himself in a way that he could actually meet those artists and ask those artists if it was okay to use their songs. One thing that was really interesting was that once he did Eat It, which is the parody of Beat It, Michael Jackson's song, once he got that, it was a lot easier because now he's able to say, well, if it's good enough for Michael Jackson to say yes, it should be good enough for you. And at that time, the king of pop, Michael Jackson, was the biggest in the world for all rock and pop music. So once he was able to do that parody, then it kept on coming in and approvals were a lot easier. So those were the 4 things I thought really stuck out when it comes to Weird Al, the way he was able to surround himself with very talented people and being loyal to them, positioning the power of his brand, how he found that niche, and then also being respectful of the people he's working with, the people that was there to support him, and also the people that he's doing parody music of. That respect actually got him to where he is today. So think about all those things when you put into your own business. How do you respect the people that got you to where you are? How do you build your brand? How do you find that niche? How do you position yourself? Are you surrounding yourself with the right people? And that's how you create that good entrepreneurship spirit. That's how you're able to be successful, just like Weird Al. And like I said, if you have never watched any of Weird Al's stuff, I highly recommend you search some of his stuff. Word Crimes is a good song to listen to. It's a lot of fun. White and Nerdy, he got a Grammy for that. The Weird Al version of Hamilton is absolutely phenomenal. And of course, Eat It, if you get a chance to watch that. In fact, if you watch Eat It, right side by side with Beat It, it's almost exactly the same, and it's just pure genius. So that is it for today's Mastermind Bites. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you spend some time to watch some of his stuff. It's absolutely phenomenal. It's a lot of fun to watch. It's going to give you that time to relax and smile as well. And that's why I think he's one of the best artists out there, because he's been able to stay relevant for all these years. In fact, he's done a recent presidential debate song too, which is a lot of fun to watch. So that's why I chose him to feature it for this week. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed this, please watch some of the other videos, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also follow some of my other videos, my Peak Potential Success Show, and also Unlocking the Mind Behind Make More Work Less. So until next time, today is the day to unlock your potential. I'll see you later.